Coming up, smoke on Flagstaff's skyline persists. Plus, a COVID-19 spike is on the horizon. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Michaela Richardson.
And I'm Liam Combs. Thanks for tuning in. Northern Arizona is home to many national forests. This fall season, these forests are being treated with prescribed burns in order to reduce the risk of catastrophic wildfires in the future. NAZ Today's Matt Kienitz went out in the field to get information about the necessity of these fires.
Smoke has been no stranger to those in Flagstaff and its surrounding areas, and this is due to prescribed burns. Currently in the Northern Arizona region, there are a few prescribed burn projects happening in both the Kaibab National Forest and the Coconino National Forest. As you can see, there is one happening just behind me, just north of Belmont, and these prescribed burns are fires set intentionally for the health of the forest. Fires have been a part of the ecosystem since the beginning of time, but Tyler Richwine, a burn boss trainee, says they do not have to be as extreme as they have been.
We can get ahead of it with prescribed fire and treat those acres preemptively and get it cleaned up and in a better state, so when a wildfire does start, it's not going to get as severe.
A few burns were staged last week in addition to the one in Belmont. Just south of Lake Mary, around 1,137 acres were burned. Controlled fires are governed by a legal document that is used to establish a burn plan. For those annoyed by the amount of smoke in the air, Richwine says it is better to have it now rather than later.
We either get it now or we get it on a wildfire where we have less control. We generate more smoke. We don't have any kind of semblance of idea of where it's going to go. And then people have to deal with it then.
Richwine says prescribed burns can actually be beneficial for the wildlife in the area.
We may be reducing some of the woody debris that small mammals need, squirrels, mice, anything like that. But we're creating snags for nesting birds. We're creating open areas. We're increasing the grass production, and we're cycling nutrients back into the ecosystem.
The fire in Belmont burned around 2,686 acres. And Richwine says that this prescribed burn season has been a successful one. Richwine says that these burns will not prevent wildfires from happening, but they will make them less severe. Matt Kienitz, NAZ Today.
Ignition will begin on more prescribed burns tomorrow and Friday. The projects are expected to be completed in 2 days and are happening 8 miles southeast of Flagstaff, near Old Walnut Canyon Road. The first project is expected to burn 250 acres, and the second is expected to burn 450 acres.
With all these prescribed burns, smoke was sure to follow, and it has. I spoke to air quality officials today about how this may be impacting your lungs. If you do find yourself in an area with dense smoke, much like the I-17 south of Flagstaff yesterday, you might want to stay indoors. The folks over at the Department of Environmental Quality have a method for how you can keep your lungs safe during these upcoming prescribed burns. Before starting a prescribed burn in the high country, Arizona fire officials must first make sure it will not have a large impact on air quality. Because of this, Arizona Forestry and Fire Management works closely with the Department of Environmental Quality to ensure that these fires are safe for locals.
These are 5 to 10 years of planning that went in to this one burn that's taking place to protect the ecosystem, to protect Flagstaff as a whole when you're looking at prescribed fire around the region.
ADEQ has particulate monitors in the region to determine the right time to burn and for how long. When a burn is happening throughout the day, smoke from these fires rises and moves with the wind. However, when the sun starts to set, it behaves differently.
During the night, inversions start to set up, really cold air right down near the surface, and it can trap the smoke into the surface. And we're seeing that this morning in Flagstaff as well.
The air quality index is in the green over the next few days, so officials say there is no cause for concern unless you are smelling smoke. As for the locals, most seem unbothered by these prescribed burns.
I guess it's a necessary thing, but it'll be good when it's over, just so people can get back outside and not have to worry about all the issues that come along with the smoke and the fires.
Burkar works as a substitute teacher for a local elementary school and says it is unfortunate when they have to cancel recess due to smoke from the fires in the area.
That outside time and that exercise and physical time is important to them, so when they can't go outside, that's kind of a bummer.
If you are unsure about whether or not to go outside during these burns, fire officials say they have you covered. It's a method that helps you determine if the air is safe to breathe. They call it the 5-3-1 rule.
If you can not see past 5 miles, that's not just haze, but you can't see past 5 miles. If you're sensitive to smoke, you want to start thinking about limiting your outdoor activity. If you can't see past 3 miles, that's when, if you're sensitive to smoke, you want to definitely stay indoors, and everyone else should think about limiting their outdoor activity. If you can't see past 1 mile, that's when everyone should begin to really completely stay inside, shut your windows if you can.
Pace says you should stay aware of fire and wind conditions over the next few days. These burns are expected to continue for a few weeks until the snow season begins.
A Flagstaff man is the second this week to be pronounced dead after being hit by a train. Flagstaff police are currently investigating the deaths of 53-year-old Stacy Minold and the most recent death, 50-year-old Danny Quimaze. Both were found dead along the tracks just days apart. As the winter months get closer, cold and flu season is on the rise, along with the return of COVID-19.
Yes, it is, no doubt. NAZ Today's Jordan Valander is in the studio to tell us how to stay healthy throughout this season.
Thank you, Liam. I went to Coconino Health and Human Services to see how the community is being affected. County officials say they are being proactive in regard to COVID-19 by sending out information to citizens.
Coconino County is monitoring case counts and is sharing a weekly dashboard on our website showing how cases are trending.
The dashboard includes data regarding COVID-19 hospital admissions and respiratory disease case counts. In addition to the dashboard, the department offers other services.
We offer extra services to our residents during this tougher time, such as the extra vaccine clinics I mentioned, cell phone assistance, rental assistance, healthy meals. We go see visit some of our seniors at home. We're here to support our community in as many ways as possible.
The clinic offers flu and COVID-19 vaccines every Tuesday and Wednesday at 2625 King Street. For more information regarding clinics and updates, go to coconino.az.gov/HHS or at Coconino County HHS on Instagram and Facebook. Jordan Valander, NAZ Today.
Next Tuesday is Election Day, and here in Flagstaff there is one proposition that is a big debate. Prop 480 proposes a new hospital be built by Fort Tuttle. Supporters say that the move will provide more space compared to the current hospital, which they say is too small and overcrowded. Opponents to this bill say there are other solutions to solving these problems and that there are a lot of unanswered questions from Northern Arizona Healthcare about how this project would affect the surrounding neighborhood. Residents in Flagstaff have been raising concerns due to an earthy smell and taste in their drinking water. Well, what's causing this unexpected change? The answer might surprise you. NAZ Today's Connor Byron is here to uncover the answers to Flagstaff's water quality and the measures to correct it.
Hello Flagstaff, I'm here at Lower Lake Mary, where recent algae growth in the water has given the town's water supply a little bit of an earthy smell and taste.
Water plant manager Brian Hunsinger says, yep, the water can be stinky.
Taste and odor compounds are associated with surface waters due to algae. There's two compounds, specifically geosmin and 2-methyl isoborneol, or MIB, that are related with taste and odor compounds. So we expect that it's, or suspect that it's the algae and the taste and odor compounds related in surface water production.
Hunsinger says this problem tends to occur in the fall.
We had a couple intermittent episodes over the summer, and we've been aware of the algal growth at both the Lake Mary Water Treatment Plant where we are today, as well as Upper Lake Mary. During those events, we sampled for algal toxins, and those sampling events came back non-detect.
While the odor may not be pleasant, the water is safe to drink.
There are not. MIB and geosmin are taste and odor compounds. Like I said, they can be detected at very low concentrations, but there haven't been any known health effects.
For more information, you can visit the Flagstaff Water Services website at www.flagstaffaz.gov. NAZ.gov/water-services. Connor Byron, NAZ Today.
Abortion rights activists have a chance to block an Arizona law that makes it a felony for doctors to perform abortions solely because of a fetal genetic abnormality. Advocates are pushing to create a constitutional right to abortion. If they collect enough signatures, Arizona will become the newest state to put the decision in the hands of voters. The proposed state constitutional amendment would guarantee abortion rights until the point when a fetus can survive outside of the womb. Grand Canyon University is being fined nearly $38 million by the federal government over accusations of misleading students about the costs of some programs. An investigation by the U.S. Department of Education concluded that the Christian university lied to more than 7,500 students about the price of its doctoral program as far back as 2017. GCU strongly denies these accusations and has 20 days to appeal this fine. Route 66 is home to many hotels in Flagstaff, and while some are run down, others like the Americana Motor Hotel are getting a second chance at welcoming guests. Flagstaff is officially taking part in the nationwide trend of restoring old hotels. The most recent out-of-this-world restoration is here at the Americana Motor Hotel on Route 66. Built in 1962, the Americana is working to help revitalize the all-American road trip with retro renovations, including disco balls in every room.
It just made sense to reinvigorate it back to what it looked like in 1962 with a few modern touches, but really to give that nostalgia back to people, because there's nothing like taking a road trip with your friends or family.
Motor hotel is the official term for what is commonly known as motel. Miller says they stuck with the original name to honor its history and to avoid negative stereotypes.
A motel has the connotation that it's kind of run down or that it's dingy and dirty. But if you talk about motor hotel, you're talking about that drive-in experience, that road trip experience, and it kind of triggers people to understand that that's what they're coming to us for.
Since the Americana is a bit of a drive to popular tourist spots, he says that it is the local community that will make or break their success.
Flagstaff is such a small community. Everybody's so welcoming and everybody's been so open to us being here. So wherever we can be a part of this community that is positive and that is proactive, we're going to take that opportunity. We want to be part of it and help grow it and help better it.
There has been a surge in what Miller calls boutique hotels like the Americana. He says this is changing how people travel.
With the industry changing and people, enjoying going to regional places rather than flying across the country or even international, I think it invigorates what was once a forgotten way to travel and to stay in hotels.
Michaela Richardson, NAZ Today. Coming up, downtown Flagstaff celebrates Halloween with a trick-or-treat bash. Stay with us.
We are once again seeing warmer than average temperatures, and we are currently in a warming trend that will continue into the weekend. However, we will be seeing those temperatures go down to seasonal average temperatures starting next week. However, for the time being, also look out for smoke and haze in the skies from those prescribed burns. I have more weather coming up, so stay with us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore. So you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. Mountain Sports hosts its annual trick-or-treat trail.
That's right. NAZ Today's Faith Rodriguez has more on this festive tradition.
Thanks, Michaela. I had the opportunity to visit Mountain Sports yesterday to see all the trick-or-treaters in their best costumes.
What are you dressed up as?
A nerd. Mountain Sports hosts the annual trick-or-treat trails for local families.
Mountain Sports has been hosting it for 6 to 7 years now. It is an event put on by the Downtown Business Alliance in the city of Flagstaff.
Mountain Sports has played an active part in the Flagstaff community to provide a family-friendly space during spooky season.
At Mountain Sports, we really love supporting the vibrancy of downtown and just, kind of giving back to the community in any small way we can, and you can see the turnout here is great.
One parent says she loves the community aspect of the event.
We love the fact that we can go downtown 4 o'clock while it's still light, while it's still warm, and we get to see all the local communities supporting all the little kids. We really appreciate that.
This year, downtown saw some creative group costumes.
I'm Weird Barbie. My hair is kind of weird, and I smell like basement.
And I'm Ken, and I'm just looking for the beach because I'm supposed to beach today.
And this is other Ken, really good looking Ken.
My family always does theme, and I always make our costumes. I'm quite proud. So this year it's Shrek, my husband's donkey, my eldest is Shrek, and my youngest was Puss in Boots, and I am the fairy godmother.
Faith Rodriguez, NAZ Today.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Welcome back. My name is Matt Kienitz, and I will be bringing your weather on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Taking a look at Flagstaff, currently we are at a temperature of 55 degrees. Now we are seeing some smoke in the sky from those prescribed burns in the area. Now our barometer is reading just above 30 at 30.26 inches, and those wind speeds are very low right now at about 4 miles per hour. We can take a closer look at those wind speeds on this current satellite right here. As you can see, it was pretty clear all over the state today. A few clouds coming into the north region, but a lot of clouds coming in from the southwestern part of the United States into the southwest part of Arizona. But taking a look at today in Flagstaff, we had a high of 63. Now we are about 5 degrees above our average high, and this is because of a little bit of a high pressure that we have going on above the state right now. You're going to notice those temperatures slowly increase as the week goes on, which can be confusing for those out there since it was just freezing cold yesterday on Halloween, but we will be going back to those normal temperatures next week. 25 degrees was our low today, and those averages at 27 degrees for the low. Those records were at 73 degrees and 11 degrees for the low. Taking a look at it all across the state today, we had a high of 65 in Prescott and Hopi. 57 was the high up in Page, 75 in Kingman and Las Vegas, and over in Payson, we had a high of 68 degrees. Taking it back to Flagstaff for tonight, we're going to see that forecast low of 25 degrees with those mostly clear skies. The sun has already set at 5:32. But taking a look at tomorrow morning, we're going to see just a few degrees warmer at 67 degrees tomorrow. Sunny skies is the forecast for the rest of the week, and that sunrise will be at 6:49 a.m. Taking a look at across the state tomorrow, as you can see, it will slowly increase all over the state. 84 will be the high in Phoenix tomorrow with a low of 56. Page jumping up to 64 degrees as the high with a low of 44. 77 will be the high in Kingman with a low of 45. 77 is a high in Sedona as well with a low of 47. Over in Tuba City, a high of 66 and a low of 31. And down in Show Low, 35 degrees will be the low with a high around 65 degrees. Taking a closer look at Flagstaff, it won't be too much of a jump up in temperatures. It will just be a slow rise. So Thursday and Friday, we'll see a high of 67 degrees. Thursday, that low will still be pretty chilly at 28 degrees. Friday, that low will be at 32 degrees, so just at that freezing level. Saturday, it's going to go up to 34 degrees. And then on Sunday, it's going to jump back down to 33. And Sunday is when we will start to see those temperatures slowly go back down. They won't go down too much. They will just stay at that seasonal average level. But 33 degrees will be the low on Sunday. And then on Monday, 64 degrees will be the high with a low of 32. Now, that is all the weather that I have right now, but stay tuned for sports after the break with Tyler Murphy.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
How are we doing tonight? Welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Tyler Murphy, and I'll be your sports reporter for tonight. Let's dive in. Since we've been gone here on NAZ Today, there's been a lot that's happened in the world of sports. Starting with high school, on the volleyball court, the Flagstaff girls swept the crosstown rival Coconino 3-0 last week to earn a first-round home playoff game tomorrow night. The number 8 overall Eagles will take on the number 9 Arcadia from Phoenix. Also this week, the crosstown rivalry match between Flagstaff and Coconino in football will be held and played in the Sky Dome Friday at 6 p.m. This game will be a deciding factor for Coconino making playoffs. You can stream that on CAF Sports Network on NFHS. The pregame show will begin at 5 p.m. Switching gears to NAU cross country, the Lumberjacks men's and women's team swept the Big Sky Conference for the third straight year, and also had back-to-back victories with Elise Stearns and Nico Young as they both took first place overall. The NAU football team is ranked 8th in the Big Sky Conference, coming off of a victory on homecoming weekend against the 25th ranked UC Davis Aggies 38-21, and are set to play against the Montana State Bobcats this Saturday in Bozeman. Earlier in the week, I had the chance to meet with the NAU women's soccer team before the Big Sky tournament starts. Check it out.
After capturing the Big Sky Championship on the road last year, the NAU women's soccer team is eager to host the conference tournament for the first time in 13 years. The feeling of playing on their home field is comforting for Coach Alan Barros and his team.
You know, we're home.
we're home, and all these girls talk about is being home and being in this awesome stadium. We love our stadium, by the way, and I think we're a different team at home.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I'm from here in Flagstaff, so the fact that I get to play in front of a lot of my hometown friends and family is awesome, but this stadium's always full, even when we have home games, so the fact that we have the tournament here, it's just a great feeling, and it just gives us confidence from the stands to the field, so I'm super excited, and so are the girls.
The last time the Big Sky tournament was played in Flagstaff was in 2010. Senior Maddie Schaefer, a Flagstaff High School alum, recalls where she most likely was the last time NAU hosted the conference tournament.
I don't know if it was the tournament, but I was here, I was ball girl, and I ran right along this track, so I probably was. I was at most of the home games, so I definitely was probably in the stands, which is really cool.
A different scenario than from last year. NAU is currently ranked the 4th seed in this year's tournament. What it's going to take to win it all isn't how quick they move or how many shots they take.
It's the mindset. It's the mindset. I thought we did well with it at times this year. At other times, I thought we kind of fell behind a little bit. Didn't have the right mindset going into a couple of games.
Tyler Murphy, NAZ Today.
At the time of the show, they are currently playing Sacramento State, with the winner advancing to face the top-seeded Montana in the semifinals Friday evening at 6 p.m. Well, that's all the sports we have for this week. Stay around after the break for your weather recap with Matt Keenitz.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Taking one last look at that Flagstaff extended, 67 degrees will be the high on Thursday and Friday, and it will be getting a little bit warmer up on Saturday at 68 degrees with a low of 34. Sunday will be a high of 65 and a low of 33, and Monday a low of 64 degrees and a high of 64 degrees and a low of 32 degrees. Now, speaking of warmer temperatures, down in the valley, the Arizona Diamondbacks are playing against the Texas Rangers in the World Series.
The current score is bottom of the 5th, 0-0, guys.
Sounds like another... it's a scary one for us here in Arizona, guys. But I'm just trying to see another Arizona sports team get a championship. That's all I got to say.
That's right. Let's hope with that Texas leading 3-1 in the series that the D-backs can pull ahead. Now, that's all we have for today. And make sure you guys stay up to date on our socials at NAZ Today. We'll see you next week.